He was reported to the Hampton Police Department by City Hall on June 16th at approximately 2:20 in the afternoon. That the water meter reader, Trev Murphy, had been checking on a meter at a property, and while he was trying to read the meter, there was a dog that attempted to bite him at that time. Trev was able to make it to his vehicle before being bitten, and the reporting party advised the owner, Mr. Siciliano, had been warned before, advised that the dog left the owner's property and went to the neighbor's property in an attempt to get to Trev. And at that time, we got a statement from Trev, and a letter was prepared to be served to Mr. Siciliano, along with a copy of Chapter 56 of the City Code, reference vicious animals. The way that the code reads, the definition of at-large is it is unlawful for any owner to allow dogs or cats to run at large within the corporate city limits of the county. And then if you look at, I believe it's 55.14, care and keeping of animals. No, that isn't it. Okay, 55.14 states that it's the duty of every person owning or having the custody or control of an animal, physically restrain the animal within an enclosure upon a leash when such animal is left unattended outside or is not at heel. The animal must be restrained so as to prevent the animal from leaving the premises of its owner or from coming in contact with the public right of way or the property of another. Failure to restrain an animal pursuant to this subsection constitutes misdemeanor. And then as far as the vicious animal, the reason why that was in that way is back on 12/12, excuse me. December 14th of 2012, we had a situation, same thing, that the dog was not being constrained, and what happened was Trev was trying to read the meter next door again, and it evidently had come off the property and had tried to bite him at that time. There was a citation that was served for no city license. The subject was given until 1/18 to bring in the rabies vaccination paperwork in, and it was put on the calendar for somebody to check. On the 17th, they brought in the paperwork with the vaccination that had been done that day and the city tag, which had been purchased that day. But on the 28th of December, he was advised to bring the dog, or that we needed to have the dog vaccinated and the city license within 10 days or he would be cited. And then, so it was on the 8th, which would have been given the 10 days or whatever, the 8th of January, and it was the 18th before he brought in the paperwork, or it was actually after that. So, and then we had an incident in October of 2013 where he charged the reader meter again today. He was advised by Corporal Morrison at that time that basically said that if this was happening again, that it's a possibility that it could come before the city council for a vicious animal notice. So that brings us to June of what we just got through discussing as far as having an incident happen again. So that was the reason why it was set up. Anybody have any questions? I think I've covered everything.
Is he currently licensed now? Let's see. Excuse me.
This incident happened on the 16th of June, and he was served a citation for the dog at large and not having it licensed. And it appears that as of 2:30 this afternoon, he did license the dog.
Is this dog going to several properties? Is it roaming the entire neighborhood? Is it just go visiting one neighbor because it likes that neighbor?
I can't say, from my understanding, when it's the meter readers there, it's just the one property. Other than that, I can't.
So we haven't had any problems any other?
I have not had any complaints from anybody else, no.
Any questions from Bob? Any more questions? From Bob? All right. Thank you,
The
Bob.
person that made the original is here today if you would like to talk to him.
Okay. You want to start with that? Trevor, you want to talk first?
I'd just like to say, I don't want to see anything happen to the dog. I mean, I got 2 dogs myself. They are a part of the family. I just want, what I'd like to see is just the dog stay on this property. That would be my job. I mean, that's all I ask, just a little responsibility from the owners. I'm willing to work with them if they're willing to give their phone number or something that I can give them a call before I go down to the neighborhood or whatever it takes. I just don't want any problems with the dog, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes and if it works. I don't have anything else. I mean, for some reason, that dog hates my guts, and he probably likes everybody else in the world, but it just doesn't like me. So.
Are you saying that if the dog is out or anything of that nature, or being walked, or the dog, I mean, what?
For some reason, even when the owners are out, I mean, even if I'm half a block away, it comes to me. I mean, I smell like a T-bone steak. It comes after me, and I don't know why. I really don't, but I'm just asking. I don't read a meter at their property if they're on a well. I read Nick Mulper's meter across the road. Mm-hmm. So, but for some reason, I'm just gonna go over and keeps coming around behind, and I gotta keep turning around and sticking my feet up so it doesn't nip at me. It's a border collie, and I think it's in their nature to kind of get that herding instinct. I don't know if it thinks I'm a raw sheep or what, but I just want a little responsibility, to keep it on their property, whether that's a fence or electronic collar or something, just so when I go down to read the meter, we don't have to go through this. So.
Yeah, Dick.
To this point, though, when you showed up, there hasn't been any communication between you and the owner, but I guess what I've heard you say is you'd be willing to give him a call when you're going to be doing your job.
If it, if that's what it takes, and if it happens again, then, then something definitely got to be done. But like I said, I'm willing to work with them. I just want to do my job and not deal with the dog. I mean, I've been reading meters 18 years. It's always at least once a year deal with a dog, but this one's just been repeatedly. Just stop.
I just want to, I talked to the neighbor today and confirmed that, the problem is they share each other's dogs, and they consider the dogs on any of the property is part of it. And that's the way the dog was trained when they came in. That, it's a cul-de-sac, it's a dead end, it's on the gravel road. Also, I'll let the owner talk to that, but the owner also thinks that may be a private road. So within that, if they both own the dog, or say that it's a joint dog, now we just got an issue. We got a meter reading issue, and if you're willing to call them, but also they're willing to control the dog better, because propensity for the dog to want to herd you. And that's the thing is, I think that's the deal. It's a herding issue, not a biting. And I just want to ask you, the dog has not bit you.
It hasn't ever physically.
It is not.
I mean, it's nipped, and you might feel it on your shoes or something like that.
But he hasn't.
It's never physically hurt you.
Okay, and I just want to make sure that we're going that way, because it's one of those that we want to work through the problem and that stuff, but also the same thing with laws and those type of things. We want to do that too.
I used to walk the route down there, and But if I did that, then it'd fall me, a lot of block or so down the road, so now I try and drive down, try to alleviate the problem.
Mhm.
But, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, so they can use all this route, without getting myself.
That's
But, I don't want to keep going through this.
right, and I think that's the issue is if we can work through the issues of a telephone call, those things, and we can talk to the owner about the thing. But
Eventually, all of it gets solved eventually, you get all the radio reading.
Exactly. Is there any other questions for Trevor? We can bring him back up if we need to. Carol, do you want to talk about this?
I would like to
'Cause I guess
talk
you
about it.
deliver every day, so.
I would like,
Thanks.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you, Trevor.
Thanks for your willingness to help. So
Yeah, but.
I'm just going to.
my name is Carol Bendler, and I'm their mail carrier. I'm there pretty much every day, 5 to 6 days a week, unless I'm on vacation or on my day off. And I understand what Trevor's saying, but I see that dog every day. And usually, dogs are very protective of their territory. And when they don't see the same person day in and day out, they feel a threat to their home. So I just wanted to tell you, I have never in my life have had any trouble with this dog. I go every day. Now, I'm pretty good at judging the character of dogs, whether I need to stay away or if I need to worry about it. And I tell my substitutes, if you have a problem with the dog, err on the side of safety, bring the mail back, record the dog was out, and I will deliver it the next day, no problems asked. My substitute is a little leery of dogs, and so if for some reason Zoe, this is her name, is out, I tell her to bring the mail back, and Mark and Gloria are all right with that. And I try to tell them beforehand that I'm gone or if it's my day off. They are very good about keeping that dog in from a lane myself or whatever. So for me, they have been really responsible for myself. And for Trevor, I think, he shouldn't be nipping at Trevor's foot, but then Trevor's only there once a month, right? So, he's not used to him as much as he is me. And I can understand that the dog needs to be, but I think these people are really responsible, and I'm going to just say that if Trevor would give them a call, they would be glad to keep him in the house. And like I said, the dog goes back and forth to both places because he kind of is protecting the whole place. It's kind of like they're out by themselves there. And, I'm just saying that I have not had any problems with the dog. And I would like you to take that into consideration, that she is a good dog. And I would feel bad if she had to be put down or taken off the city. If something happens, if something can be worked for Trevor, and this is to be honest, I think that would be the best. Thank you for your time.
Yeah,
It's not a real lot compared to the next closest house.
Right, and I drive down there. I drive my truck because it's quite a ways, and I've never seen that dog trail me, trail the truck back with me, down the street. I mean, it stays pretty much at those two houses. I've never seen it go.
There are no connecting sidewalks to the rest of the town.
I gotta think about that. Ballard, do you know? Okay. I'm sorry. He used to carry down.
No, that's what I'm saying, it's sidewalk.
Yeah. So I drive down there and drop off the mail.
That's down by where they're at.
That's the house.
I guess I'm just thinking, if there was any danger from this dog, kid walking by.
I really don't think the only kids,
Walk by because of the dead.
the only kids that I know that are down there are mixed range, pretty much. That's the only ones I see. They're pretty much kind of, they got the good life. They're in town, but yet they're not. They're right on the edge.
Any other questions for Carol?
Thank you very much.
Mark, would you like to address?
Evening. I'm not quite sure
what I need to say, but if you have questions, or have something you want me to explain, I'm happy to answer it. Explain anything you want.
So you ever on a leash, or is it always just running this?
No, if I go to, my mom lives at the senior center. If I take her up there, she's on a leash.
But when it's at your property, because the ordinance states it needs to be on your property. It's always on your property, is it on leash or just all the time?
No, sometimes if I'm outside, and I'm working or doing something around the yard, she's usually out there with me. She's not on a leash, but she doesn't really go anywhere. Kind of what I do is if I'm working, I will do something for 10 or 15 minutes and throw the frisbee for her, or ball or whatever she wants. And then I do that for 3 or 4 times. And then she'll, like to say, I gotta go back to work, or I'm going to get a cup of coffee or something, and she'll just sit down and wait for me to get done with what I'm doing. And when if she thinks I've spent too much time not throwing the frisbee, she'll come and correct me. But, yeah, there is a fenced-in backyard. A lot of times I put her out there. But if I'm out front doing something, it wouldn't be unusual for her to be out there.
I think it's great of Trevor to, offer to give you a call ahead of time. Are you willing to work with him with that? And then just make sure the dog is either leashed up or in the house?
Yeah, well, we tried to keep track of when he was coming, so we knew that the dog was in the house.
I know.
But there's times where it's not enough regular. It's not every Thursday of the month or whatever. It's usually in between about 5 days, I guess it is.
There's like, I kind of get done between the 20th, it's like the 10th, 20th.
Yeah, so there's quite a span there. So I had her, in fact, the day he showed up last, I didn't expect him. If I knew he was coming, I would either had her in the house or on the leash. But, in fact, when he came that day, I was cleaning up outside along the south side of the house, which is not in the backyard. And I think I walked into the garage to get something, and I heard her bark. And I go, I know that bark, that's not friendly bark. And that's when I came out. And I go, I figured I walked in the garage and he goes in. Not that it's his fault, but it was just, that's how it goes.
Timing.
Yeah, timing.
Any other questions?
And just a couple comments, I think this is, dog owner also, and I have, I think, license and plans by month, and so it's really important that be done on an annual basis, it's not counting units, whatever, here, that first, registration, that's, and I am about today, and Mark was inside, and I drove in, Mark actually made the truck, and he got out of the truck, and came around the corner, and was barking. You can see it toward the house, I can see it toward the house behind me. And I was intimidated by a dog. She has a bark. No question. She came at me, and she came to my left, just about right at my ankle, just pushed with her nose against my leg to make me bite. At all, pushed against her nose against my leg, and I took that off and stripped her and had her what she did that point. When I proceeded to the house, then a knock on the door, then she was letting me know, hey, you're not supposed to be there, because she growled at me. She didn't come at me, but she made that bark saying, this is my property, what are you doing? So I didn't have any problems, so I didn't feel threatened. That push, I didn't have any beef jerky in the back pocket. You got to keep carrying that beef jerky. I really didn't feel threatened, but it approached me, and she came, and she came and actually pushed me back.
Any other thoughts or comments? I mean, the other thing is, we've got other people that don't want to speak on behalf. I mean, the other big thing is, she may want to speak on behalf. I mean, the biggest thing is the kids are being concerned about children that may bicycle down and those type of things, if there is a threat or if we feel any threat. I also went last night and the dog came out, sniffed me up and down, and I guess didn't make any actions. The bark is a bark, and I felt that there was no threat. The issue is, you know, is the dog a threat? And do we feel intimidated? And does it come? Can it be taught? The other thing is, when I talked to you about keeping the dog under a leash and kind of controlling the dog in the winter, and that's us until we figure out how to keep it in its yard, because if it's in its yard, it's not a meter issue. But we also need city property on the meter. We want to get it read, and that's stuff. I don't know if anybody else wanted to speak to the topic or anything else. You want to open it up to anyone else who might want to speak.
I'd say something.
Okay, Riviera, come on up to the mic.
Well, Zoe, I think that she's the sweetest dog, and she's never had any attempt to bite me or growl at me. She always lets me pet. She always let me pet her, and I don't think she means to harm anybody. I think she's just trying to protect her home, like she said, and that's all I have to say. I mean, I just think the dog is just the sweetest thing in the world. I would hate to see it go.
Thank you, Riviera. Does anybody have questions for her? Thank you. Any other comments? Anybody else would like to make comments? Mike?
I'm Riviera's dad.
Come up to the mic. State your name.
I'm Mike Beardo. Along with what Riviera said, it is a very nice dog. First time I ever met her, she did run up to me, you know, bark, bare teeth, but she was smiling at me. I didn't know she was smiling. I was freaked out at first, like, she's smiling at me. Watch, you know, and he showed me a couple of tricks that she got with it. One of them is you sit down and smile at him. So that's what it was, but he right away told me, he's like, just say her name and pet her. And as soon as I said her name, she calmed down and let me pet her, and she was awesome. The last couple months, the most recent one was this last weekend, 21st. Mark has been hosting in-home concerts, getting musicians from all across the country to come and play shows at your house. And first is going to a bar that he's got this kind of entertainment. So we were there, and there was the first night there was probably 10 people there. I don't think that's not the only market one. And I was there for the duration. This last weekend, being at the house they live in is the old Beats family home. There's a Beats family reunion, and there's about 24 strangers there that all came in, had a party at the house, then it was treated to a concert by a different artist. And that dog never once growled, never once got his dander raised. It sat in the backyard and watched everybody. It's hung out. So I don't feel that she's vicious at all to anybody. And to be honest with you, I'm not a huge dog person. I have a small dog. But that's because of the fact that I was young, I was different back then. I had something hard, so I never really played on dogs. I love Zoe's death. I go to their house and wrestle with her every Tuesday. So I don't see how, you know, and I understand the keeping a controlled aspect. I mean, I keep my dog controlled, and I didn't know that you can't just license it over here. Is there licensing on it? Honey. So, you know, I wouldn't tell you tonight, but as far as licensing of the animal, but, and don't see her as a threat.
Okay. Any questions for him? Thanks, Mike. Anyone else want to speak on behalf? We have a couple motions that we can look at.
I make a motion, Mayor.
Okay.
Make a motion that we declare the dog, Zoe, as non-vicious, they can make record that this is the first documented report of an unprovoked attack.
I was going to say, all right. I was going to give a third option if you want to hear it, but we can wait for that second motion for discussion.
Second.
All right. You got first by Dick, second by Val. To declare the dog in question as non-vicious with the incident documents of first report of an unprovoked attack on record. I just throw this out as a third option. Do we take the incident as documented as a first report of an unprovoked attack? Was there an attack? Was there a bite or anything else? And I would offer the third motion, or third option, declaring the dog in question as non-vicious, period. But I can't vote and I can't make that motion. But by putting this in here as a document of the first report of an unprovoked attack, you're accepting and saying that there was an unprovoked attack. So I just offer that up. Any other discussion?
I would, in any other case like that, I would go along with the thought of declaring a point blank non-vicious, but there's been 2 incidents. So I would say, I would go against motion for the first report.
Okay.
And I would just like to say I've been where you're at, and like, I know I'm just gonna state it again, the fact that Trevor is willing to work with you, you know, obviously he felt somewhat threatened, you know, and we all know our dogs better than anybody, but, you know, he felt somewhat threatened. If you guys can just work together, I think that would be the best solution. And obviously, I think that both parties are willing to do that, and I think that's a great.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Any other discussion? We'll do a roll call vote based upon the motion by Dick, second by Val, to declare the dog in question as non-vicious with the incident document as the first report of an unprovoked attack on record. Seeing no other discussion, we'll do a roll call vote. Luckensmeyer?
Aye.
Davies absent. Harms?
Aye.
Augenbeck?
Aye.
Hickman's not here. Crowley?
Aye.
Motion carries. So this will be, the dog is declared as non-vicious, but it is reported as a first report of an unprovoked attack. So, without any further ado, we will open up to public comment. Thank you all for everybody's deal. Trevor, thank you for working with this and let's make this go forward and make this, everybody getting through this as best we can. I appreciate everybody coming out here and taking their time. Community involvement is a great thing. Thanks for everybody getting involved. Public comments, none registered in advance. Anyone else? Then we'll go to a public hearing. This has been the time and the place for the public hearing in regards to authorization of financial agreement in regards to construction of a new wastewater treatment plant. I, Mayor Bimler, will open the public hearing at 6:35 p.m. City Manager Ron Dunn will review the details.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, I'm just going to speak up. I turned the mics down so we all don't have to listen to the feedback. As the mayor said, this is the time and place for a public hearing and meeting on the matter of the authorization of loan and disbursement agreement by and between the City of Hampton and the Iowa Finance Authority and the issuance of Iowa Finance Authority of not to exceed $6.5 million sewer revenue capital loan notes to evidence the obligations of the city under said loan and disbursement agreement in order to provide funds, pay costs of equipping all or part of the municipal sewer system, including those costs associated with the acquisition, construction, and equipment of new wastewater treatment plant, and refunding of sewer revenue capital loan notes, anticipation project note, Series 2010, dated October 27, 2010, issued in respect of such costs, and a clean water SRF water restoration sponsored project consisting of watershed improvements in the Squaw Creek and Spring Creek watersheds in the City of Hampton and Franklin County, and that notice of the proposed action by the city council to institute proceedings for the authorization of the loan disbursement agreement, the issuance of the notes has been published pursuant to the provisions of section 384.24A and 384.82 as amended. I haven't received any comments for or against at City Hall, Mayor, and I guess we could open it up for public comment.
Anybody have a public comment to this? Going once? Anybody here on the council want to talk to it? We'll close the public hearing then, seeing no comments at 6:37. Seeing no old business, we'll go into new business consideration of approval of pay estimate number 2 to Heartland Asphalt Incorporated for work complete on 2014 HMA overlay and pedestrian ramp improvement in the amount of $86,306.93. So defer comment to City Manager Ron Dunn.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, this is pay estimate number 2, $86,306.93. And we're going to be paying part of this amount out of this fiscal year, and then we'll pay the remainder and close this out in the next fiscal year, July. That's how we had it budgeted for. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you.
No questions, I'll take a motion. And second, to approve pay estimate number 2 to Heartland Asphalt in the amount of $86,306.93 for work complete on the 2014 HMA overlay and pedestrian ramp improvement project.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Steve.
Second.
Thank you, Diane. Motion by Steve, second by Diane to approve pay estimate number 2 to Heartland Asphalt Incorporated amount of $86,306.93 for work completed on the 2014 HMA overlay and pedestrian ramp improvement project. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. This is kind of a happy kind of thing on our deal. This is something that was passed last year and implemented this year. It's called our Image of Pride Award announcement. I'll defer comments to Councilmember Diane Crowley, who's also in charge of this committee.
Our committee met first week in June, and we selected Dan and Kim Ballard's property. And they will be receiving a certificate, a small monetary award from the chamber this year. We also have a sign that's going to be put in your yard, and Chief Schaefer's volunteered to put that in. We'll do a picture for that. This property was nominated by Tony Wilkinson, and she did a very good job of pictures, explaining why. And I want to read what she wrote on here, one sentence that was very good. I've watched the improvements happen over the past few years since the current owners bought the property. A few improvements have been new stucco and decorations on the house, clearing of old plants and debris, and replacements with beautiful plantings and decorations. The owners are always finding ways to make this a beautiful property year-round. And that's what we're looking for, somebody that takes care of their property, they've made improvements, and they maintain it year-round. So we'd like to thank you very much. We'll do a quick motion here, and then you can come up for a picture.
Excellent. We haven't got the motion. So I will look for a motion and second to approve the recommendation to award the June 2014 Image of Pride to Daniel and Kim Ballard at 621 First Avenue Southeast. Thank you, Dick. Second. Thank you, Val. So this is a motion by Dick, second by Val, to approve the recommendation of award 2014 Image of Pride to Daniel and Kim Ballard at 621 First Avenue Southeast. Is there any discussion on why we shouldn't do this? They do a nice job. Seeing no discussion, I'd say all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right,
Those chamber bucks. You're not gonna spend those Nile Falls where you work.
They're chamber bucks provided by the chamber.
If we can do a quick picture here, photo op thing, Newton and photo op too, since you gave the chamber bucks, and the chamber bucks stand behind them here, we'll gather here real quick, we get a quick photo op on that stuff, and we'll move on to the next video. Where is it?
And where do I hit it? Oh, the button right there? Oh. Congratulations.
Here we go, guys.
One, two, three.
We'll go one more here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
You guys, good job.
Is that right?
We'll get started. Diane, are you still looking for nominations?
Yes, Deb, you do some more, and I did wonderful to fill out this.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Dear
about
Dad,
money,
D.E.
it's giving and how we get everything up.
D.E.
You know, the neighbor really put a lot of effort.
R-I-V-I-E-R-A.
Going to
This is sporadic, but thank you very much.
consideration of hiring.
You're welcome.
We're planning to apply for the T-SIP grant, seeking 100% funding for replacement of the traffic lights and 2 intersections.
Good.
And we're required to have an engineering plan and design completed for that grant. And we have a proposal from CGA here to do design, public bid process, construction administration, construction observation. This does not include preparing or submitting the TSIP grant application. Doug is working with the DOT staff for doing that. So for the engineering costs, his proposal is for $10,700, which is up for consideration. So we want to move forward with the grant with the engineering services.
We can go into discussion by getting a motion in a second, or we can, if there's any comments up front, but we're ready for a motion and then take us into discussion.
I think it was-
Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Steve. It's a motion by Diane, second by Steve, to approve the hiring of Pat Sadler and associate assist with the application process of an Iowa DOT TSIP grant for traffic light replacement. Now the chance to discuss and talk.
My main concern is what are the odds that we get this grant? So it's been $10,000. We're not going to be guaranteed